it's, these military strikes are against radars, sensors, launch sites, factories producing, putting the final production of missiles together. So that will interfere with and degrade what they can do. I think this is what this is about. It's not about actually saying, well, this will show them, and a slap on the wrist will stop them doing it altogether. It's just making it harder for them.
Right, let's start with the Houthis then. The US and the UK have launched more operations against the Houthis. That is in response, of course, to attacks on shipping in the Red Sea by Yemen. Foreign Secretary David, now Lord Cameron says he's sending a message to the Houthis.
Since we last took action 10 days ago, there have been over 12 attacks on shipping by the Houthis in the Red Sea. These attacks are illegal, they're unacceptable. And what we've done, again, is send the clearest possible message that we will continue to degrade their ability to carry out these attacks, whilst sending the clearest possible message that we back our words and our warnings with action.
I say good morning to William and Kezia. Morning, William.
Good morning.
And morning, Kezia.
Good morning.
So this has been going on now for a week or so, William. The problem we've heard about this is that actually attacking Western shipping is supremely popular in Yemen. It's united two sides of a previous civil war. It's ideologically exactly what they want to be doing. They're very well embedded, their military structure, because they've been fighting a civil war for years and years and years. So it's basically in the interests of the Houthis to keep going on this. It's not at all clear that they can be deterred.
No, I don't think they can be deterred for all of those reasons, but I do think they can be, the damage they can do can be reduced. What they're doing can be seriously mitigated. And I think that's what these military actions are directed at doing. Certainly, it makes them popular to say, oh yeah, we've just hit that tanker or ship. Many of which are nothing to do with Israel, by the way. And it's not clear they're discriminating at all between different targets. But they would be doing that, and be doing that all the more if nobody retaliated against them. And that affects nations around the world. It affects a key artery of the world economy. It would affect eventually jobs and the economy in Europe, the United States, China, elsewhere. So you have to do something about that. Will it stop them? Well, it's, these military strikes are against radars, sensors, launch sites, factories producing, putting the final production of missiles together. So that will interfere with and degrade what they can do. I think this is what this is about. It's not about actually saying, well, this will show them, and a slap on the wrist will stop them doing it altogether. It's just making it harder for them.
How big a threat is Iran, do you think, now to global peace? I mean, there's one version of events where you can say that the ruler is very, very old. There is a ground sort of opinion against him in that sort of theocratic approach to rule, and therefore the change is coming to Iran. On the flip side, you could say Iran has never been more active in terms of its actions against the West. If you look at Hamas, if you look at Hezbollah, if you look at the Houthis. If you were Foreign Secretary, William, how worried would you be about Iran?
Well, I'd be worried, but I don't think I would assess that they actually want a full-on war with Israel, the West in general. All their behavior suggests they don't want that, but that they do want to take advantage of this crisis to strengthen their position around the region, and probably to get their nuclear program, while nobody's really watching, to the point where they're pretty close to having a nuclear weapon. I think that is their objective, but they don't want the whole thing to blow up. And notice that last week, when the US and UK made their first military strikes against the Houthi positions, the Iranians quietly withdrew the one ship they had in the area that was possibly scouting for these missile attacks, and they, decided that discretion was the better part of valor, and they got out. So they're not actually looking for a full-on military confrontation with the West or with Israel.
Kezia, this is it's a difficult one for the UK, and I suppose maybe to the same extent America, because this is. The reason these attacks are happening, the Houthis are carrying out these attacks, is because of what is going on in Gaza. And you could argue that is in the hands of Israel and no one else. So it does put countries like the UK in a very difficult position.
It does, and I think the thing I've been really struck by is the rhetoric that you've seen coming from Lord Cameron and to a lesser extent from Grant Shapps, which is very much about focusing on the commercial reality of the Red Sea to the economy, talking about these being commercial shipping lanes that need to be protected, and really dampening down the rhetoric when it comes to military action. Everything's framed as being defensive and proportionate, doing everything they possibly can with language to stop this escalating. I've been really struck by that. I think it's particularly interesting that for days we were told not to anticipate any further strikes, that the White House was very quiet in this regard, and then suddenly overnight further action's been taken, but there's no tub thumping, there's no celebration about the success of those actions. It's just been presented in a very matter-of-fact way.